Man, Jane, it feels so good to finally be back. It has been way too long. It's been at least over a week and a half since me and you've recorded an episode.
Yeah,
But man, are we glad to be back? And March is here. It's been here. I mean, it's almost ending at that. But it has
yeah,
been an
actually,
absolute
we have less than a week till we're out of March.
yeah. But man, it's been a crazy March. It's just been crazy around the sports world. And we have a lot to get into today. But before we do, welcome back to Across the Board. We cover a lot of sports, as you can probably tell. Lots and lots of it. All the sports news around the sports world, we cover it. All the great stuff that you want to hear, see, and all the above. Oh, goodness. Go follow us on our platforms so you can keep up with all the information I put out there on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, Spotify, Amazon Music. And I think and our threads. Can't forget the threads account that we have. Got to go follow that. But on today's menu, March Madness, how it's been so far, the craziness, and then we will talk about the PGA Tour and this week's event coming up. But Jaden, we have
You're
the round
you're
of
gonna start me off.
32.
You're gonna start me
Yeah,
off like this. You're gonna
the
start me off
round
like
of, oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. The round of 32 is in the books. Okay. We are through the craziness. Okay. We start with the round of 64. I just want to say, I'm the only one in our bracket pool that picked this, okay? How about the High Point Panthers? Okay, taking down the Badgers. What a
it could happen.
performance.
I knew it could happen. I never said it couldn't happen. I mean, sounds a team that can shoot the heck out of the ball, as in more like. Well, they did shoot three really well.
Mm,
But yeah, they kept themselves in it. Chase
yeah,
Johnson, amazing for them um, during the first round. He had a great game. Obviously, making the three since that's the only thing he the only thing that he shoots. Um, and that's just kind of struggled. I mean, the Badgers just kind of struggle with stopping them. They kind of kept going on runs to get themselves back in the game and played. I mean, obviously the best that they could uh, to beat them, which is kind of surprising because Wisconsin had been shooting really good. They had been playing really good, not just shooting really good. They had been playing really good. Um, and they like, I mean, they played good. You can't even say they didn't, but they just didn't have enough for this High Point team. I mean, at all. They kind of just down the stretch didn't have enough to get it past, and High Point ended up making a clutch shot and moving on.
yeah. I mean, when I looked at this matchup, I honestly stayed away from numbers and picking these matchups. This is all a lot of heart picks, if I'm being completely honest with you. But Wisconsin was that team, I think, on a lot of brackets that was like, you either saw them going out first round or you saw a bunch of picks them going to the Sweet 16 or even further down the road. But the
Mm-hmm.
hardest, but with that being said, the difficult part of that is when you're that volatile, it shows your inconsistency in that at any night, any team can beat you and how it happened in this game. And you're right. You look at the numbers wise, field goal percentage. I mean, Wisconsin shot solid from the field. I mean, they shot better than High Point did percentage wise. But again, it wasn't enough. And High Point, just outstanding game from the Panthers. And honestly, a good tournament for the Panthers as well all around. I mean, they gave Arkansas a run for their money, and they're a good team. So we obviously all know. So that was a fun matchup to watch. I want to shift over to a heartbreaking matchup for some, not for me though. Not for me, not for my bracket. Um, VCU 19-point comeback in the second half and knock off the Tar Heels. I mean, the season for North Carolina couldn't have gotten much worse. I mean, brutal ending to this game. Brutal. You're up 19 in the second half. I mean, you're in control of this entire game,
Hmm.
and you just let VCU walk right back in. Terrence Hill for VCU had 34 points, and he went 5-5. Outstanding performance from him. Henry Vasar, he had 26 with 10-4. He had him a double double. Kind of take me through, honestly, the momentum shifts of this game because it almost seemed like North Carolina had everything on their side and was gonna run away with this. And then bam, in the blink of an eye, they lose in a round of 64. And Davis was fired to go along
Yeah.
with that. So what did you make of this game? And more importantly, the second half.
Um, I did just want to give a shout out beforehand to Cameron Fletcher and Rob Martin of High Point in that Arkansas game. They played amazing. Um, Rob Martin gave it his all, and that was really the reason why High Point had a chance to win that game. Really sad they didn't win that game, but um, the VCU game, man, yeah, UNC had everything rolling for them. They were playing good. They weren't turning over the ball like we thought could be a problem for them. We knew was a problem for them. Not just we thought, it was for especially since they've not had um, field goals. And man, I mean, they really overall they didn't turn over the ball that much, but laid down the stretch. They were up 19, obviously. VCU kind of looking out of it. Not many people thinking they could come back. I watched the game. Slowly just started making comeback. They started making buckets. They started getting stops. And VCU is known for their defense, more known for the ability to turn you over. And they only turned over North Carolina 8 times in that game, so really not that much. But down the stretch, when they had that 19-point comeback, they got stops. They made Carolina shoot uncomfortable shots that they obviously weren't making. It wasn't going to be easy to make, and that's what they did. They forced them to take some contested shots. They forced them to use the whole shot clock, where they forced some turnovers and got the ball back, and then went down, took time off the clock like they know to do, and made a good shot. And GCU just slowly climbed back into this game because of that. And at that point, UNC almost all the momentum, obviously, all the momentum was gone for UNC. And the problem that we've seen before, where they can't stop a point guard, they can't stop, if they can't stop the scoring for the other team, or they can't score themselves and they shoot the ball really bad. That's what we saw at the end of that game, and then into overtime, they could not do that well, and VCU took full advantage of that, and they had every chance in the world to come back, and they did. I mean, it was a great game for VCU, and obviously Terrence Hill played amazing. But man, I mean, UNC had that game in the bag basically, and all they had to do was not throw it away, and that's exactly what they did.
Very rough one for them. And I mean, for me, it was good, but not for the Tar Heels of North Carolina. I do want to give a couple of shout outs because I kind of want to jump ahead a little bit to the round of 32, and we'll probably mention some of these teams again. But I do want to shout out Siena. Absolutely fantastic performance from these guys. Played 5 guys the entire game to just put that in perspective for you. So, what a great fight they put up. They did absolutely phenomenal. They competed with the 1 seed first off, but they looked good. They played well. So, shout out to them. And that was awesome. So, I want to jump to the round of 32. Okay. And we got to talk about these endings. Okay. Because it gets wild when we get to this point.
Hmm.
Actually, we're sticking in the round 64 real quick, starting with the wild endings. Santa Clara in Kentucky. Now, I was out and about, just strolling in Canada, and I'm just keeping up with this game because I'm pulling for Santa Clara to get the upset in the bracket, and I keep moving along strong. Hit a clutch three. Coach attempts to call a timeout, doesn't get it, and Kentucky drains a three, and we're going to overtime. That was absurd
Yeah,
and insane to watch,
it
first of
was.
all.
It was.
I mean, crazy stuff happened there. Kentucky went on to win this game. So that's the first one. I wanted to mention that one. Did you have any thoughts from that
Yeah.
game, or just anything you wanted to touch on for that one?
Yeah, they. I was actually watching that game with my team, eating somewhere, and we were watching it. And man, we all had Santa Clara to win, and we just needed Santa Clara to win,
I
and
was
they
going to say
came
all of
back.
us.
Yeah, and they came back. They were down. They came back. They made the shots they needed to. They shot the ball really well down the stretch. They gave Kentucky troubles on the offensive side. They were making them shoot bad shots, and Kentucky was missing them. The things that we've seen Kentucky do very often this season, and they were doing exactly that. And Santa Clara was going down. Maybe that slow ball that they play, not really slow, but um, and taking their time, getting good shots, that offensive team, that great offensive team we know they have. And then, yeah, at the end, man, they had to come down. They had to make a three, and boom, made a three. We were ecstatic. It was insane to watch. And then Kentucky gets the ball, and bang. I mean, off the backboard, in the bucket, it counts, buzzer beater, going overtime. And we all said to each other at the same time, we said, St. Clair's going to lose this game now. Because I mean, honestly, at that point, man, it's so hard if you're Santa Clara to get back in that game. You thought you just won it. You had every feeling that you just won that ball game, and then there's Kentucky making a buzzer beater when they need it the most. And I mean, man, like good for Kentucky. They made the shot when they needed to when they weren't able to make the shots beforehand, and then they go to overtime and they neither team could really make a shot to begin with, and then they started scoring, and Kentucky just, I mean, kind of ran away with this game. Santa Clara made the mistakes they couldn't, and kind of mistakes that you just kind of looked at and said, that's because basically they drained all the energy out of them. They had no
Yeah.
energy on the offensive side and or the defensive side, and I mean, man, it was something else. It was absolutely something else, and I couldn't believe it.
I think what made this a lot worse, and I'm not blaming the officials by any means when I say it, because it's a intense situation. The arena's loud, so I can
Yeah,
only imagine they can't hear jack squat. But what added, I'm gonna say, salt to the wound was the fact that Santa Clara coach was trying to get the timeout and didn't
yeah,
get
it
it.
just that
It like
sucked.
again, and obviously I'm not you, not blaming the official because it's loud in there, man. No doubt in my mind that you probably couldn't hear a thing in there. So just insane stuff there. Now, this next game, another heartbreaker for Tyler Tanner and Vanderbilt. Nebraska driving layup to go up two. Tyler Tanner heaves it from half the court. Ball goes basically in the rim. It's halfway down and bounces back out again. This happened twice this year. Not once, twice. It made everything so much worse. Sucked the life out of that arena, and it was insane. I mean, he had an amazing game. He had 27 points. He was 2-4, but insane and heartbreaking ending for the Commodores. but Nebraska gets an absolutely huge win and gets their second NCAA win this tournament and in program history.
Yeah. I mean, great for Nebraska. Honestly, I thought I was one of those people who didn't think they could get it done. Didn't think they were going to get their first win. Thought they might lose to Troy. They didn't. They blew them out of the water. They took care of business like they should. Then faced Vandy, and man, Vandy had a chance. And what a shot by Nebraska. What a game by Nebraska in total. I mean, great win for them. Sucks for Tyler Tanner, but you got to give credit where it's due. And Nebraska played the game and played how they needed to win, and they're moving on. And I mean, first ever round of 32, first ever round of 16. Who knows? Who knows where they keep going?
For sure, man. Exciting for them. I do want to go to our next game, St. John's, Kansas. I was pissed off about this one. Me and you both were, because me and you both had Kansas going a long
Yeah.
way. St. John's, a clutch bucket late. Oh, man, this was absolutely heartbreaking. Darren Peters had 21 points, 4 assists. I'm going to botch this name to help me out. But Zuby04 had 18 points, 9 rebounds, and 4 assists for St. John's. Now, how bad did I botch that name first off? Because I think that was pretty bad.
Yeah, you butchered that.
That's
It's
fair.
Edge of
That's on
four.
me. Edge 4.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
Edge of four. And he played great. Edge of four played great. Obviously, you talked about Darren Peterson having 21 points. Um, he played good too. Um, but man, I mean, I love two Hall of Fame coaches. I mean, absolutely amazing coach game. We knew it was going to be a close one. We knew each team was going to give it their all. St. John's obviously looking for a win and get into the Sweet 16, and then Kansas looking for they haven't been to the Sweet 16 in what is it since like 2018 or something,
It's
I
been a
believe.
while. I think in the last 5 appearances for Bill Self, I think the farthest he's got is around to 32.
Yeah, so they
And
were looking for something as well. Bill Self wanted to get back there, and man, I mean, great game, great ending, obviously, and just a I mean, why, man, you look at that and go, I don't know how you don't stop a layup, but at the same time, you got to think you can't foul him because then you just give him free shots. So Kansas, man, that's a heartbreaker for them because they had a chance to win that game. St. John's was honestly kind of ruling that game. They were up a little bit, and then Kansas, gave it all they had, and we knew that they would, especially Darren Peterson. And man, yeah, disappointing for us because we thought they could win it.
I'd say our next game was very disappointing.
Oh,
I know you're
I
not
don't think
ready
I'll
for it,
have I don't think I'll have words. I don't think I'll have words for it.
but I want to bring this up because after this game, I want to jump to another conversation. But Iowa, Florida, insane ending. First off, so I was confused. What fouls were called on the loose ball? It was Condon and I'm forgetting the other guy's name, but they tie it for a loose ball. Condon goes to go snatch the ball. They both go down, and it looks like our player just throws a punch.
Hmm.
Now I don't remember what fouls were called, but I was very surprised. I thought there would be an ejection for that occurring, and I'm very surprised that didn't happen. But to make it worse, that guy ended up hitting the game winning shot, and that just adds more salt to the wound. I got the name right here, but I'm gonna mess it up again, so I don't even know if I want to try and
Bulgaris.
try this. Thank you, because I was you made me lose my mind. But Fulgaris thought he'd get ejected for a punch, and then goes on to hit the game winner. I didn't think this was possible. I really didn't. Iowa honestly hasn't played that great coming down the stretch. They're a solid program, but I honestly think Florida's just they were a lot better team. I mean, Florida's obviously a better team, I think. They should have been, but they struggled. An absolute heartbreaker. I know you watched this, and what were your thoughts in this game? Because to me, it doesn't seem like these guys could get in sync until late in this game.
Uh, I don't know. To answer your question, it was a double technical off. Um, my word just lost my train of thought there. Um, it was a double technical dead ball foul. So since it was a tie up, technically becomes a dead ball, and they both gave him a double technical. Gave each player a technical foul. Don't really kind of got the foul for pulling him down. Well, Gary's got the foul for, I guess, throwing a punch. Um, Supposedly, it was ruled that he didn't really make contact with Condon with the punch. If he would have, he would have been ejected. But since he
He whiffed,
didn't, it
but
wasn't. We don't really. I honestly don't understand. I know Todd Golden did not understand. He thought it should have
yeah,
been. He was told that it probably should have been just based off rulings. Because technically, if you even make the attempt at something like that, you
yeah,
should be ejected. But he wasn't,
I
and
just,
obviously salted that wound
yeah,
later on.
I don't understand. Like, obviously, I mean, Iowa played a great game. I'm just confused, like, why it matters if he connected or not. I mean, yeah, if somebody swings and he whiffs, I mean, yeah, all right, well, it's not a, he's not ejected because he didn't make contact. I mean, that seemed a little silly per se, but besides the point, Florida early on, again, they didn't seem in sync. They came down the stretch, they took the lead, they had a 4 point lead, but then they couldn't close out the game. It was a tough one to see and an absolute heartbreaker at that. But what this showed, and I think a lot of people need to kind of have this understanding that this showed how hard it is to win back to back championships and what it requires year in and year out to do it. It's happened, you look at the Florida Panthers, they did it recently. You guys had the Yukon and the Dodgers, but I think this really showed that even as good as Florida is, it's very difficult to go back to back at any level you're at.
Yeah, yeah, it is obviously really difficult. And the team had every opportunity to do it. They had the chance. They had the players. Um, I know everybody wants to hate on Xavier Lee for the last, if you can even call it a possession, for the last possession of the ball. But you can't. He was the best player in that game. He had 17 points. He played his heart out. And so you can't really hate him for it. I know he didn't shoot it well at the beginning of the year, but he's on his stride. And obviously, you've got to put up a shot. I, don't worry, I was yelling that at the screen I was watching. But
I'm very
you know,
glad I was not in the room with
still,
you
he probably
during
wasn't the
this.
guy you were supposed to put the last shot in his hands of anyway. Thought it was going to be Thomas Houck. Obviously, I'd imagine Iowa thought that as well. But man, it just it hurts, but it's hard to do. Um, it was an opportunity in its most right to even have a one seed again, back to back one seeds. That's never been done. Um, so for Todd Golden to get his team there again, that was great. I do believe that maybe, like you said earlier, they weren't in sync at the start of the game. They weren't really making their shots defensive wise. They weren't really doing too much. They weren't being the defensive team that we knew they could be. and have seen them be, and they weren't stopping Iowa. Well, they were stopping them to an extent. They weren't stopping on the inside, and the outside they were. Iowa went 1 and 11 in the first half on threes, which is not something that Iowa does. They usually shoot the three ball really well, and then they stopped them in that. Obviously, they were down at half, knew they could kind of rile back because Todd Golden's really good at halftime adjustments. Came out second half. Iowa started hitting some threes. They went 3 for 4 in their first 4 attempts. Not looking too good for Florida. Down 12 at one point. Florida riled back. Had a great stretch. Their defense finally showed up. They made some shots. They got back in it. They even got a lead. I thought for a second, man, we're going to pull away with this game, and that's going to be, we're just going to have to learn and live and be all right. And then came down to the end. Boogie had shots, and you got to make both free throws, especially for Boogie Fland, who's a great free throw shooter. You've got
and
to make them.
and a
And
vet and a vet, and I
yeah,
mean in college
I mean
basketball.
you've got to make them, and he didn't. He only made one. It made it a 2 point game instead of a 3 point game, which would have just tied it. And then it hurt because even Todd Golden says at the end there that he was supposed to foul. That was supposed to be a foul. That they were never supposed to get the ball down the court. As soon as Iowa got the ball inbounds, they're supposed to foul because at least that gives you a chance to just tie it. Game over. That's it. He called it last year because someone asked him if you were put in that situation, what would you do? And he even said it last year. He said, I'd foul. I mean, I just take the chance. Make him shoot 2 free throws. If he makes both, we go to overtime. If not, he shoots one. He misses the other. We win the ball game. So
And you
they
st-
were supposed to foul, and
and you
they
still
didn't get it off. And corner three.
and you still have a possession at that. I mean, with two free
Yeah.
throws, I mean, you still at least have
Yeah.
5.6 seconds left.
Yep.
So just craziness there. A lot of crazy upsets, a lot of crazy endings. But we're gonna kind of preview the Sweet 16. But there is one team we got to talk about that made it out of this. That seems like as just kind of rolling through the tournament so far. That kind of unexpected. I think it's time to talk about the Texas Longhorns and what they've been able to do. They go and beat BYU, get a huge win against BYU. Then they go and beat Gonzaga to now make their way to the Sweet 16 and take on the Purdue Boilermakers and Braden Smith and that team. What did making Texas play so far in this tournament?
They play great. Simple as that. I mean, I didn't think they could pull it off. I'm gonna be honest. Well, I, I take that back. I do think they could pull it off. I know I was a BYU fan, as in I thought BYU could win a ball game, two, maybe three, if they could find something, especially with AJ Devanza. But AJ Devanza played his heart out. He played great. He looks like the number one draft pick, even over Darren Peterson probably, which is insane to say. But he looked great. He played a great game. He gave it all he had. But Texas just looked better. They looked like a more physical team, which is kind of what we expected. They were probably the more physical team, and it hurt BYU being without Richie Saunders because if he was in that game, they probably would have won it. But sadly, he wasn't. And Texas just kind of moved through that one pretty easily, and then got to Gonzaga, and I didn't think. I mean, I thought they had a chance just because of the physical ball that they play. They can be just as physical as Gonzaga can be, and give Graham Ike and them some troubles, and that's exactly what they did. I mean, that's exactly what they did. That's all they had to do, and they did it, and to a good extent. All ball game, they kept themselves in it. They kept it close, and never got too far away from the lead. Even held a lead. Towards the end of the game, that's just what they were. They made their shots. They were more physical on the defensive side, which is insane for them. And Gonzaga just couldn't make any shots. They couldn't make any shots. They couldn't get stops. Texas obviously at the end pulled away, made the shots they needed, and man, I mean, congrats to Texas. Of all the SEC teams that you thought would be where they are, I don't think Texas was one of them. So I
I
mean, but
was
you knew it was going to happen. I said it. There was going to be at least. It always happens. There's at least one first four team to make it past 2 rounds. I just thought
Texas.
I didn't know if it
I,
was going to be them. I thought it was
I
in between them or Miami, Ohio, even
see. The
before
thing
they
is,
played the first four. And I picked Miami, Ohio. That's wrong. Should never have picked that. Um, and Texas, man, they've balled.
yeah, I feel like their ceiling was a lot higher than Miami, Ohio. I feel like their potential ceiling, I would say, was
Yeah,
much more up there. But we got the Sweet 16 coming up. I'm pumped just to see all these matchups. You have Texas, Purdue, Iowa, Nebraska. I will say some people think there should be a ceremonial punt to start that game off, I
I
should
did see
say.
that.
Yeah, Arkansas, Arizona. I'm very excited to see that matchup. Illinois, Houston, pumped. St. John's and Duke, Rick Pitino and Shire. Then you have Alabama, Michigan. Tom Izzo and Dan Hurley facing off against each other is going to be legendary. Must watch TV, I will say.
Yeah.
And then Tennessee and Iowa State. Hey, man, I'm just letting you know. I've got Rick Barnes going to the Final Four. I think it's just fair to say they're my Final Four, but they've got some work to do if they want to be there. Which matchup, though, most intrigues you of these eight that we have going to the Sweet 16? Or you can just pick a
Honestly,
couple even.
honestly, I think the matchup that intrigues me the most, and I'll explain why, is Duke versus St. John's. Mainly because we've seen Duke struggle. They've they haven't looked like the team they really should be. Um, I mean, they just haven't. Just plain and simple. And I think St. John's can give them some trouble, man. I think they have every chance, every opportunity. I think they're physical. I think they know how to play their type of ball to the best possible extent that they can. I think Duke, injuries wise and stuff, just doesn't have the physicality that is probably needed to just kind of plow over St. John's. And yeah, I think I mean probably gonna be wrong like most of my bracket, but I think St. John's could pull off the upset, and I think we could see Duke go down if St. John's can just make their shots and play their physical ball that they know how to play. I think they could give Cam Boozer and this Duke team some troubles, and I think that's just why we could see Duke go down and lose another game, kind of like last year. That maybe they shouldn't have to an extent. We thought they were going to make it further. I think this could be the game for them. Uh, I think the Arizona Arkansas game is going to be interesting because obviously we know Arkansas can score the ball. They're a fast paced team. They shoot the three pretty well. Arizona does not. So we'll see if
That's
Arkansas can force them to shoot the three. I think that'll be
that.
big a big deal in that game. If they make Arizona start shooting the three and having to shoot the three and maybe even get out to a little bit of a lead, maybe we see Arizona shot the three better down the stretch at the end of the year, but and they can do it to a good extent, yes. But if it comes down to a shootout, man, we just haven't seen Arizona just basically outshoot a team from outside the arc, by a large margin. And I think Arkansas can almost make you have to do that, especially if they get hot early and they make some shots. So I think that'll be an interesting one as well.
Yeah, I want to interject. I mean, because that's basically saying the same thing. I was on the same matchup with that. To me, I looked at it like this. To me, Arizona, my only concern is if they get forced to go outside and have to shoot.
Mhm.
We know they love to be in the paint. That's why they love to score. But they're about to be met with Darius A. Cuff and a good Arkansas team that can shoot the ball very well. they'll put the three ball up, and knowing John Calipari, he knows what he's going up against. If Arkansas could, like you said, if Arkansas could force Arizona to get outside the paint and force them to shoot the ball, this is Arkansas's game. So I mean, this one is very intriguing to me for sure.
It definitely could happen, but we've also seen in Arizona's favor, we've seen teams like Arizona who can rebound the ball great and love to be inside the paint, like Florida, um, just kind of demolish Arkansas. They can't really handle it on the inside. They can't really stop it from happening. They obviously don't rebound to as good of an extent as those type of teams. And so if Arizona can just kind of body themselves in the paint and just get point after point, and even take some of those three balls maybe and be able to get the second chance points off of those rebounds like they know they can do, this game could go out of hand for Arkansas as well. I think it all depends on what team gets off to honestly the better start. What team gets the lead first? Does Arkansas come out shooting hot and make some shots and Darius Acuff kind of carrying them, and leading that scoring, or does Arizona set the tone and almost say, hey, you can't stop us inside the paint. You can't get these rebounds off of us. We're just going to basically body you all the way till we win this game. So I think it's kind of it's one of those. It's just who starts off better at the beginning of the game.
For sure. I'm very excited to see where that one goes. And again, very excited to see Sweet 16. Do you have any more matchups?
Um, Michigan Alabama could be a shootout. Uh, I mean, both teams shoot the ball well. We'll see if maybe I don't know. Alabama's looked fine without Holloway. So we'll see if it keeps up. We'll see if maybe that starts to hurt them finally, or maybe they can make it at Michigan. I think if any team that out of the top of that region that could beat Michigan, I would have said Alabama was it. It was just whether or not Alabama could get to playing Michigan. I think they have the ability, they have the shooting, they could score, they could make it fast paced, they can get you kind of on your heels because of the pace of the game. And if they start making their shots, they're a hard team to let up a lead. They just don't do it that often. And so if they could get Michigan in that, kind of feeling of having to catch up or maybe having to make some stops and playing this really, really fast paced game, they can potentially beat them. I think just because of the way they shoot, but it's really just depending on what they shoot. Um, I mean, I know you have Tennessee going a long way, and obviously Iowa State losing Johnson. That hurt. It kind of looked like it hurt them in the start of the Kentucky game, at least in the first half. But
They were off
then
to a slow start.
the second half, they just got it together and they just whooped them. So I'm not. I don't know if they start to another slow start, especially against a Tennessee team. That could be a problem. But if they could just, I mean, if the loss of Johnson doesn't really hurt them, Tennessee could be in for a long game. Obviously all the Sweet 16 matchups are great. I can talk about any of them, but yeah, I think those are the ones that intrigue me the most.
For sure. I'm excited to watch this. I know you are as well, and I'm pumped. So we'll be watching those. We'll be tuning in. But with that being said, let's go move on to the PGA Tour. We'll cover that. We did not do a preview of last week's tournament. Obviously, our schedules, we are very busy people. So we were out and about. But last week, the week before that, we had the players in which Cam Young took a W.
Indeed, USA.
Absolutely, absolutely huge, huge win for him there. And
Yeah,
then last week,
finally the win. I think we were all kind of waiting on for Cam Young, a big one. I think we've known that he has the all the ability and talent to be able to do it. It was just when he's going to finally break through. We've seen him have some of these leads and kind of fall apart, and he was really the only person that didn't fall apart. That I mean, I don't know, Thor Bjornsson and Ludwig kind of just fell off the planet. But gotta give him credit, man. He played great ball.
for sure. And then last week at the Valspar, Matt Fitzpatrick, dub,
Man.
got a huge win last week. So, bunch of great golf over the past couple of weeks. But now we are on to this week, the Texas Children's Open.
Yep.
Nice event, playing at Memorial Park Golf Course in Houston, Texas. Your past winners, you got Minwoo Lee
Mm-hmm.
in 2025 and 2024, Steven Yeager. Yes, sir. In 23, Tony Finau took a dub. And the year before that in 22, yeah, Jason Kokrak with a huge, huge win back in 2022. But a huge event going into this week. Just some notes I have, as always. Got to have some notes on the golf course. If you're a long ball hitter, yeah, this course favors you.
Pretty cool.
Course loves you, actually.
More.
Like, like, really is in love with you. Type deal is what you're rocking with here. Putting, huge thing at this golf course. Strokes gained putting is going to be a huge stat and number to look at this week. And strokes gained around the green, strokes gained approach to green. Big numbers to look at there. But the long ball hitters, huge part in this golf course, especially to win at this event. Again, like Minwoo. Minwoo can absolutely pimp slap a golf
Yep.
ball. And he won it last year.
Indeed.
But huge week. Very excited. Kind of what are your thoughts going into this week and what are you kind of looking for?
Well, obviously, like
More
you
of a
said,
performance from anybody.
it's kind of it favored the long ball hitters. It's a course that really favors people hitting it a long way. And there's a lot of those guys, obviously nowadays, that can hit a mile. A lot of these guys playing this week. Sadly, one of the guys not playing this week is a guy that we bet on every week that does not seem to win. We actually bet on him. Scotty Scheffler. He is welcoming a second child this week, and so he withdrew. Good for him, though. Really great for him.
Oh, yeah.
Hopefully, all that goes well, and we'll see him in a couple weeks at the Masters, which will be a big deal. So
We'll have a big preview for that. So go check.
we will
Yeah,
indeed. Um,
that's why you follow us.
yeah. But yeah, so obviously he's not in the field this week, sadly enough. But we've got a million guys who could win this week. Honestly, like you said, sports favors a guy who can hit it a mile, and there's a lot of those guys in this field this week. Um,
Are you going to give us your you want to give us your dark horses first, or do you want me to give you my my three guys I've got rung up that I like going into this week?
I would say go ahead and give your guys, and because I'm still in between a couple of guys that I'm looking at, so go ahead and give yours, and then I'll get mine.
I've got three. So I want it plus 1,300, plus 1,800, and plus 2,000. They're all three of them are in a line.
Okay.
Okay. Minwoo Lee, for obvious reasons. First off, he's been playing well. Secondly, he's won here. Third, this dude hits the ball a mile.
Okay.
We know this. He's a
We
great
both.
golfer. But I love how well he's been playing recently.
That's
Number two, I got Chris Giddy up. Good old Chris Giddy up. Um, long ball hitter. He's won this year. He's kind of fallen off a little bit. Kind of fallen off the tracks. Not falling too far down, but he's had his moments of late. But this guy's still played well this year. I think he's will be in contention this week, and that's gonna be a name for me to watch out for. And then my final guy, he's gonna get himself a win, but he's already got one. But he's so close. You see him up top leaderboards, he's just hanging on. But Jake Knapp,
yep.
my fifth guy, or third guy, fifth on the odd list. He's a great golfer. Love how he plays a beautiful swing. He's due. He's just due for a win. So that's my three for right now. You ready for your dark horse?
I think so. I've got four, like always. Uh, Man, it was hard to pick because there's a lot of guys who can hit a long way, and there's a lot of guys I like, and they could definitely do something in this field. But I'm going kind of far out there. You probably don't even know who I'm going with, to be honest. Um, but at plus 15,000, I'm taking a wild bet on a guy, and Alejandro Tosti. You're probably thinking, what in the world? And honestly, I'd be thinking the same thing because of the fact that he, in his last, I think, 8 starts, he missed the cut 7 times, and he placed 30th in the Valspar. But the reason I am doing that, and I know you're looking at me like I'm an idiot. The reason I am doing that is because the last 2 times he's played there, last year and the year before, he's placed T5th and T2nd. He likes the course. It seems to fit him, even though he isn't the longest of hitters. And so I feel like it's a dark horse pick. I think he just likes the course enough that he can play it. And sometimes there's just guys that do that. And even though he hasn't had the greatest of years, I'm taking a chance. I mean, it's been close, and the only 2 times he's played that course, third time's the charm. Basically, all I'm going off with. I'm just going to be completely real. Legitimately, that's it. Um,
I, d- I do like that pick though. I mean he does he fits the course. You're not wrong about fitting the course part. It's
yeah,
way down there, so it's surprising, but
yeah,
he does fit the golf course.
he does indeed. Uh, Next guy I'm going with, I've picked a couple times already this year. He's played good this year. You might know who I'm talking about. He's had his struggles a little bit in the last 2 events he's played. The start of the year was great for him. He played terrible at the Valspar and missed a cut. His driver was not well. Actually, his driver wasn't bad. His irons were horrendous, and even around the green they were terrible. Um, but his driver could be good, which it was this last week at the Valspar, but it's got to get his irons. And of course, kind of, I mean, it relies on the approach game, yes. But if he can hit his irons good, if he can hit his driver good, put him in some good spots, and he could get himself set up for maybe having some chances this week. At plus 5,000 to Heath
So
Theegala.
Heath Gala.
Yep.
I
You
knew
knew
you.
it. He had a
I
great
knew
start to the year. He's played great so far this year. I really want to see him get a win. I so want to see him get a win. He's had a T8 to T7 to T6 this year so far. I want to see the man win. I will say he hasn't had the most success at Memorial Park. T61st, T22nd, T28th, and T67th last year. But at the same time, I think he's played the game able to win this week, and he hits the ball a good ways. He's not the longest of hitters. It all comes down to what his approach game and around the greens can be. It's not a very challenging course per se around the greens as Innisbrook was, but at the same time, it will challenge his irons. So if he can hit those good, though, he could be in contention, and that's what I'm kind of betting off of is the fact that I think he can. Then the third guy I'm going with, which is not really out there, I will say he has never played this course, and he's actually never played this tournament. He's had a decent start this year, not great. He did play good this last week at the Valspar, and he played good at Genesis. Basically, every time he doesn't get cut, he plays somewhat good. He's been up and down. I really want to see him win. He does hit the ball a mile, an absolute mile, maybe even a country mile. They probably wouldn't call it a country mile where he's from, though. Um, I'm going with Marco Pinch. He comes in at plus 3,000. Obviously, my dark horse is always plus 3,000 or more. Comes in at plus 3,000. I think he's played good as of recent. The players wasn't great for him. He got cut. He didn't look good, but that course honestly doesn't suit his game. I don't know if Memorial will suit his game that well because of the fact I've never actually seen him play it, and he's never played it. But at the same time, it's a guy who can hit the ball a mile, and his iron game is good. And we saw that Valspar. If he can hit it at Innisbrook, and he can be good at Innisbrook, especially off the tee and the approach game, one of the most challenging courses to do that, he can be good at Memorial. I 100%. I just think he can. So I'm giving him a chance for sure. And then last but not least, I think this one won't really surprise you too much. He's played great this year, not just this week. He's played great this year. Uh, he has, well, his last three events haven't been like insanely good. He didn't play this last week. He's going to play this week though. He has also he's played this course one time. He played T39 last year. Comes in at plus 3,000. He hits the ball a mile, but it all depends on how he's actually hitting the ball, especially with his driver. Michael Thorbjornsen.
My Thor. Yep.
Yep. Um,
Couldn't say as fast as you, but I knew it's where you were going. So
yep. Michael Thorbjornsen, man, I like him. I really liked him. He's played good this year. Decent, at least, I would say. His driver has been on and off, though. It's been really, really bad. It's also been really good. So the last few weeks, though, have been good since that one, basically since the first tournament that he played this year that he was really bad, the American Express. Even the WM wasn't great at the last round, but like, man, he's hit the ball good, especially with driver, and he hits the ball a mile. How is that? Hits the ball a mile. Tied 39th there last year. Obviously, was not as much experience, but I think he's got all the experience now. I think he's got the ability to win. I think he will win at some point this year, and I think it could be this week. So that's my final dark horse pick.
I like it, man. I love it a lot. But now you know what I'm about to ask you.
Oh, exactly what you're about to ask me.
What you got? Who is going to be your winner at this
Honest,
golf course?
honestly, man, I really want Marco Pines to win. I really do. I want to see him win on the PGA Tour. I think he has all the ability to win on the PGA Tour. If I had to pick one of my dark horses, that would be it. But my guy's playing this week. My guy's playing this week. Maybe there's a chance I should go. Um, obviously, I it's hard to pick because the guys at the top that probably obviously are favored to win are three guys that could really win. Min Woo Lee, who hits the ball a mile. Chris Goddard does the same, and Jake Knapp hits the ball a mile. Jake Knapp, like you said earlier, he's gonna get a win. He's gonna get another win. He just has to. And I think this could be the course to do it. I'm in between, man. I'm in between.
I know who I'm narrowing mine down right now.
I'm
I
gonna
pro I,
go. I'm just gonna say it. I'm going with Chris Goddard. I'm going with Chris Goddard. I got to, man. I love the man. I love the way he hits the ball. He hits it a mile. I know the last few weeks have not been his fan. It's not been great, but man, that's hard for me to pick over Jake Knapp because I really want to see him win. But I'm going Chris Goddard. I think he has every chance in the world. I think this course can fit him and his game. If he hits his irons just somewhat decent, which he definitely can, his driver is really the key. He can have every chance to win this.
for sure. I eliminated Chris Goddard off my list. He's 103rd on tour right now in strokes game putting. And obviously, strokes game putting in my notes is a big part playing this golf course. He hits the ball a
Yeah,
mile, yes.
yeah,
But putting wise, that's kind of my concern with him. And he has struggled a little bit down the road.
yeah.
but he has won this year, so that's why it's like tough. It's like, yeah, he hasn't played great, but he's also won. But I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna pull. I'm gonna pull the string. I'm gonna swing the bat, and I'm gonna take Jake Knapp.
Knew you were gonna do it. I knew it,
I
and
just
that's
I
almost why I wanted to pick
love
him.
the thing is I love his golf game. I love the numbers he's putting up. I love how he's going to play his golf course. I love he fits the course. More, I love how he
He
fits the
does.
golf course.
He does.
That's
Yeah,
just
can't lie about that. He does.
yeah. I mean, he's second in strokes gained total this year, second in strokes gained putting, and he's eighth in driving distance. I mean, it's on a silver platter for Jake Knapp this week. He's
True.
just got to exit. He's just got to execute. But I'm going to take Jake Knapp this week. Very excited to watch this all go down. But with that being said, that's going to cover today's episode. Have anything you want to add today before we go on?
Um, I thought there was something I was gonna say, but I can't remember. Uh, Go watch Texas Open, Houston Open. Go watch 316 and Elite Eight this weekend. And yeah, go follow us on all our socials. And I think that's all. I think
Mhm.
I think that's all. Yeah.
Yeah. I do want to apologize for when we're posting and whatnot. We've got very busy schedules. Just know we're trying to get posts 2 times a week, plus some if we can. The Monday and Thursdays might be adjusted soon just because of tournament schedules and whatnot as of right now, but they will probably go back to normal after some time. And I will say, we're trying to work something out. Hopefully, we can go watch the SEC College Baseball Championship or tournament. Yes, that's the college baseball
Yeah.
tournament. I'm really hoping that we get to do that. It's all on Jaden's schedule, though. So don't mess this one up, guy. But anyways, thank you guys for watching. We will have a recap. My college baseball recap will be coming out Friday. Gonna get some stuff done, and we'll have that coming out Friday for you. So go check that out. I will have a schedule ready tomorrow though, but the video will come out Friday, so I'll get the schedule ready on what to go watch. And with that being said, that's gonna do it for us. Go follow us on our socials. Thank y'all for watching, and we hope to see y'all on the next episode.
Yep. See y'all then.